over 20 years experience, offering valuable information, how to save money, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, yes, and life insurance. Welcome to the show. Yes, good morning, listeners. Happy Tuesday, January the 10th, right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I hope everybody had a great and safe weekend. Welcome to the show. I have a special guest in the show today, and stay locked in right here at Power 88. I have Tomer Darvish. He flew in from Los Angeles, California today to join me on the show. We're going to talk about Golden Memorial, underwritten by Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company. So keep it locked right here on Power 88. Good morning, Tomer. How are you today?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, fantastic. You know, I'm so happy for you to be here and join me today. He flew in from Los Angeles, California today to join me on the show to educate my listeners more about Golden Memorial Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company.
Yeah. So, we particularly what we focus on is the final expense market. What does that mean? That means we're targeting the senior market that are looking for life insurance policies that have major health issues that can't qualify normally. Our policies range for as little as what a Starbucks coffee would cost you, as far as price, all the way up. So we not only are a life insurance company, but we take care of all the arrangements as well. So we'll help facilitate the funeral or cremation for the family as well too.
So that is the finance part of anytime you lose a loved one in your life. Now you got to deal with the finances.
Correct.
That's always a difficult part of it. Now, by Golden Memorial stepping in through the Consumer Garden Society, they come in and negotiate down the cost of services for families.
That is correct. Yeah. So we're going to call the local funeral homes, whether you have one or not, and we're going to price match them, price shop them, see what the prices are, make sure that the family gets the best deal possible. I'll give you an example of what we do. Sometimes it's not just price shopping, but finding out if the family's getting the right product for them. We recently had a family that wanted to be buried at Rose Hill. Now, Rose Hill was charging some sort of key fee for the casket. When we looked at all the documents and we couldn't find out what a key fee was, we called them and they waived that fee right away. So sometimes there's what's called junk fees that are associated with funeral homes.
I see.
Because they are, it's an emotional buy. When someone passes away, you're going in and you're purchasing whatever options they give you. So let the experts do the review for you, and that's us.
Well, again, it takes a lot of pressure off the family because the family's grieving. They're going through a lot at this period in their life. I've been through it,
Right.
And I don't like going through that period, but, you have to do it. And the funeral homes, they're a business. They're in business to make money, and, it's all personal for you, but it's business for them. Right. And our listeners have to understand that. Now, the average cost for a funeral in Las Vegas, Nevada, is around about $1,500 $15,000 for an average funeral. That's what we're talking about: the opening and the closing, the headstone, the whole works.
Right.
Average cost $15,000. Now, let's say if a family wants to move their loved one and they've been living in Las Vegas all their life, but now their loved one lives in another state and they want to bury their mom and dad in a different state. That's another added cost people have to consider.
That is correct. Right. So a lot of people think, okay, well, let me just go to the funeral home and purchase a plot or a casket or take care of it at the local funeral home. What they fail to understand is a lot of times things change in life. Your kids move, you get divorced, you move out of the state, out of the country. This is a policy you could take with you anywhere in the world. So when you pass away, that policy is in effect. It is cash. That cash is wired straight into your bank account. And we can also do what's called an assignment, where we can assign it to a funeral home if you choose so. So there's many options with buying a life insurance product per se, as opposed to just going directly with the funeral home, where not only do you have to pay for everything up front, but if you pass away during that time and it's not paid off, you're not covered.
No, and you have to pay the balance.
You have to pay the balance, right?
And let's talk about the qualifications through Golden Memorial, underwritten by Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company. Simple underwriting. There's only minimal questions of 12 questions. I mean, if you have diabetes, no problem. We can get you some life insurance. If you have cancer, no problem. We can get you some life insurance. Weight restrictions is not a restriction. Most life insurance companies have a height weight restriction.
Correct.
There's no guidelines for that.
Right. Exactly. Our guidelines are very simplified. So, we sign up a lot of patients that have dementia, for example. Their kids want to purchase a policy on them, and they have no other option. this is where they would call you, and and you can give them a price and show them exactly, for a little amount of monthly payments, they can get a policy for their loved ones.
Yeah, and that's very important because I hate to say this, a lot of loved ones kind of procrastinate because it's not betting against you, it's betting for you. Have that conversation with your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your children. Have that conversation with your children because it's very, very important. You sit down with your family and, look out for your family's future. We're talking about generational wealth. When you have generational debt, that's a problem with families.
Right.
Generational debt after generation, you're talking about thousands of dollars. And if cremation is not an option, and don't think about the church as an option because the church, they're not in business to bury their members.
Right.
Because if they're burying at least 3 or 4 members a month, that's a burden on the church, $30,000 to $40,000 a month, and most churches cannot afford to pay that.
Right.
So I encourage listeners out there, if you're listening to me, if you just tuned in, my name is Donald Marquez, and my phone number is 702-236-2624. Once again, my phone number is 702-236-2624. Give me a call. Let's book an appointment. Let's sit down and talk about your family's concerns. Let's talk about what you want from your family because ultimately, this is a conversation we must have with our family. If we continue to procrastinate, eventually we're going to get this large bill from the funeral homes and now we have to pay for it with no means to pay for it. Now you're struggling to get together. I've seen so many families out there, asking for money, asking for donations. If you do car washes, you have to wash in order to pay for the average cost of a service today, over 750 cars at $20 a car.
Right.
At $20 a car, 750 cars for the average cost of funeral today. Give me a call. Do not let that happen to you. Again, my phone number is 702-236-2624. 702-236-2624. My location is 2300 West Sahara. I'm in the U.S. Bank building located on the 8th floor. Now, I do work by appointment only, so you do have to give me a call. And I'm right across the street from the Palace Station. All roads lead to Sahara and the 15th. So give me a call at 702-236-2624. We're talking about the qualifications. We're talking about, like you said, dementia. If a person has, if they smoke, I don't get a lot of smokers for whatever reason. I don't get a lot of smokers contacting me, and it's strange too because here's the people at high risk.
Right.
If you smoke out there, whether you smoke cigars, even if you smoke marijuana,
right.
Whether it's recreational or medical, we have a policy for you. It is not a qualification to put you as a smoker.
Right. Exactly. So our to qualify is very simple. We have, like Donald said, 12 questions. There's only 2 questions that would weed you out. Donald can go over those questions with you guys. But most of the time, we can approve 99% of all our clients. So if you've had a health concern in the past, don't worry about it. Give Donald a call. There is a policy out there for you. Our policy is also the one thing that we do is we pay the claims in 24 hours. So that's an important aspect to this policy because we know that the families need the money right away when something happens.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And you have to understand, and now the company, the life insurance company may require a death certificate. They may require a doctor's statement.
Right.
So there are times when they have these requirements out there for the family to provide. So you want to get that information as soon as you can
Right.
to the Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company because if you don't, it could delay the process.
Correct.
Yeah, and now, if you pay it in 24 hours, of course, a person has been insured for a little while,
Right.
At least over 2 or 3 years, right?
Right.
For that time.
Right.
For the-
So, if they answer no to all the health questions that we have, the payout is immediate. There is no
Okay.
waiting period.
Okay.
So if a client, let's say, God forbid, passes away, buys a policy today and passes away tomorrow, we will pay that death claim.
Okay. Yeah, and that is happening to me already.
Right.
I did sign up a family back in July, and unfortunately, a young man passed away in October, and we paid the family, it was wow, it was a shock to me because he was in his young 40s,
Yeah.
and I reached out to the family, and very sorry for your loss, but it's a good thing they did come in and take care of their business. They came in, they heard me on the radio, just like you're hearing me right now, listener. They came in, they took care of their family responsibility, and unfortunately lost one of their loved ones at a young age, unpredictable. This event happened, and it just happened. And we did pay the claim. For more information, call me. My name is Donald Marquez. You tune into Your Insurance Connection every Tuesday right here. I do this at 88.1 KCEP, home of the People Station. My contact information is 702-236-2624, 702-236-2624. Now, in the beginning of the broadcast, Tomer talked about final expense. Let me tell you right now, listeners, a lot of you qualify. Listen to me. A lot of you qualify for final expense. What's the difference between final expense and being modified? Now, if you buy your policy by way of internet, if you buy your policy by way of mail, okay? If you're looking to buy a policy by way of mail or by way of internet, more than likely you're buying a modified policy. Your insurance will not be in effect for the first 2 years, okay? Your insurance will not be in effect for the first 2 years. Now, through Golden Memorial, underwritten by Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company, you could qualify for insurance today, all right? And by buying a policy by way of internet or by way of mail, you're going to pay more per thousand for the coverages. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. And a lot of times what happens is when people buy over the internet or through the mail, you really do not know what you're getting. There's a lot of policies out there that are masked to be a whole life policy, but they're really a term policy. Now, what you have to be careful is a lot of these term policies end at a certain age or they go up in price after a few years. I recently had a client that I visited that was 80 years old that thought he had a whole life policy, and at age 80 got a letter from his insurance company saying they terminated his contract. And now at age 80 he's got cancer and has nowhere to go.
That happens far too often. I review a lot of policies. I encourage my listeners to bring their life insurance policies in for life insurance review, okay? What I'm finding out, probably 6 out of 10 people have purchased the wrong life insurance policy. Now, if you're holding a term life insurance policy, and right now you're in your mid-60s, going in your 70s even, or even in your early 80s, we can write a policy up to 85 years young.
Correct.
85 years young. Now, if you come in at 86, well, you waited just a little too long. But if you have a grandparent or parent out there with no life insurance, talk to them. Ask them where the life insurance policy is. Let's bring it in. Let's have a life insurance review. If you're holding a term insurance policy right now, and it's going to end, at the ending of your term life insurance policy, the premium is going to go up every single year. Now, if you're used to paying less than, let's say, $30 a month for a term life insurance policy, all of a sudden at the end of the term, that goes from $90 up to $110. I mean, it can get very expensive very quick. Let's take advantage of your current health, your current age, and let's get you a whole life insurance policy. What is a whole life insurance policy? It will carry you to age 100. Now, if you live to be age 100, buying a policy, the Golden Memorial, underwritten by Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company, you're paid up. We're going to give you the face amount of the policy.
That's correct. Right. And a lot of people also have concerns with, so the ages that we start, you could be 30 days old all the way up to age 85. So we're not just insuring people that are in their 50s plus. These policies are good for anybody because death is inevitable, as we all know. It's important to make sure that you have the right policy for your family. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a term policy as well either to cover your mortgage expenses or anything like that. But this is a policy that's going to stick in your portfolio that you will eventually use. Now, some people also have the hesitation. They go, well, I really need this policy for my mother, and she lives in New York. Well, if you're the son or the daughter, you can actually purchase that policy on her. She doesn't have to physically be here or sign. You can own the policy on your mother or father, and that's where I urge you to call Donald, and he can explain those options for you as well.
Yes, give me a call at 702-236-2624, 702-236-2624. Now listen, listeners, if you're a beneficiary on a life insurance policy, okay, you need to have the policy in your possession, or you need to know where the policy is. I've said this many times. Lose a loved one, go over to the loved one's house and tear the house up looking for the life insurance policy. Now, if a loved one goes to a senior citizen home, a lot of times